A billionaire could destroy your favorite hotel chain tomorrow. Buy it out, undercut every competitor, put them all out of business by next year. He won't. And it's not because he's nice. It's because the plan you're picturing right now, the one where $1 billion just walks in and crushes an entire industry, doesn't actually work at all. And the reason why breaks almost everything people assume about what money can do. Let's use a real one. Marriott. You know Marriott. Big beige lobby. Key card that never works on the first try. Breakfast that's technically included. Marriott is worth about $100 billion. It also owes $17 billion in debt because apparently even hotel empires run on borrowed money like the rest of us. Now, $1 billion sounds like an unstoppable weapon against that. It is not. It's roughly 1% of Marriott's value. You didn't bring a gun to a knife fight. You brought a strongly worded letter. And here's the part that actually breaks the fantasy. The US hotel industry alone moves over $2 trillion a year. Marriott, this giant, this beige empire, only keeps about 10 cents of profit on every dollar. Not because they're bad at business, because that's just what's left after paying staff, buildings, marketing, and the electricity bill for 10,000 ice machines. So when you imagine undercutting everyone, you're imagining chopping into a margin that's already this thin. You're not stealing their fat. There isn't any fat. This is true almost everywhere you look. Grocery stores, the ones people love to accuse of price gouging, 3 to 5% profit margin. That's it. That's the evil empire. 3 to 5 cents on the dollar. You could burn your entire $1 billion trying to undercut a grocery chain, and you'd run out of money roughly around the time you finished renovating your third store. Okay, so maybe hotels and groceries are too boring. Maybe you go somewhere sexier. Tech, space, AI. Funny thing, billionaires actually do that constantly. That's not a coincidence, it's math. New industries have room to grow because nobody's carved up the margins yet. Old industries don't. This is why you see billionaires pouring money into rockets and chips and not, suspiciously, laundromats. Now, here's the twist nobody accounts for in the shower fantasy. You don't actually have $1 billion sitting in a checking account. Almost none of it is cash. It's stock. It's shares in a company that would tank in value the second you tried to sell a big chunk of it to go fund your hotel-crushing revenge tour. The richest people on paper are often the least liquid people in the room. Somewhere, a man worth $40 billion is arguing with a landlord about a security deposit. Probably. So let's say you get around that. You find the cash. You do it anyway. You start the loss-leading, price-crushing, take no prisoners disruption company. Congratulations, you've just described a startup. And startups already run this exact playbook all the time, on purpose. Burn cash, undercut the market, grow fast, worry about profit later. It has a name, venture capital. It also has a PowerPoint deck, a founder in a hoodie, and someone in the back row asking, but how do we actually make money? Who gets politely ignored until year 4. It also has a failure rate. 80 to 90% of these companies die. Not eventually, fast. Somewhere, right now, a founder is explaining to his family at Thanksgiving that the company is pre-revenue, which is founder speak for please don't ask again. Turns out, lose money on purpose until competitors give up is a plan that requires either infinite patience, infinite cash, or both. And most people run out of one before the other. Usually the cash, occasionally the patience of their spouse. Sometimes it works. Uber did it, Airbnb did it. Years of burned investor cash, a few bent regulations, and both came out the other side as giants, mostly by pretending very hard that a stranger's spare bedroom wasn't legally a hotel. But notice what actually happened there. Neither company undercut hotels or taxis at the same game. They found a side door. A couch isn't a hotel room, legally, right up until it has a 5-star rating and a note about not using the good towels. That's not undercutting a market. That's sneaking around the margin problem entirely. So if margins are this thin everywhere, doesn't that mean things are quietly getting worse? Cutting corners, prices creeping up forever. There's a word for that theory, and shittification. Also, the most fun word you'll say out loud today. Except go look at a television. 30 years ago, a decent one cost a couple $1,000s and looked like it was filmed underwater. Today's version is sharper, bigger, cheaper, and somehow judges you for watching 3 straight hours of it. That's not decline. That's thin margins and competition dragging prices down and quality up for decades. So where does that leave the billion-dollar fantasy? Somewhere between technically possible and financially insane. The industries with real money already sitting around are protected by margins so thin there's nothing to steal. The industries with room to disrupt require you to invent something new, not just undercut something old. And the whole time, your $1 billion is quietly evaporating at a rate that would make even Marriott's accountants wince. Being a billionaire doesn't erase math. It just gives you a much more expensive way to find out how math works.